welcome back to Cooking with Megan. Today we're making goat soup. It was mostly consumed by the upper class, and it was consumed by the upper class because hunting was more of a sport rather than for nutritional value. Today, while we get the goat going, let's have Claire Mead come and talk about the grains in our soup.
Hello. In Mesopotamian times, the most commonly used grains were barley, emmer wheat, and wheat. And today we have barley with us, which will be added to our goat soup once the goat is done singeing. Barley was a good nutritional source for the Mesopotamians, and the grains were their most common source for sustenance. So we're going to add this to our soup to add nutritional value. Grains were also used in baking breads. They had unleavened and both leavened bread, but leavened bread was less common than unleavened, and leavened bread was they know that leavened bread, the Mesopotamians used leavened bread because there is evidence of fermentation and they knew how to ferment things, which also grows into how they made beer. And the fermented bread was more like a fluffy loaf of bread, whereas the unleavened bread was made into circular discs and baked in ovens called urns. And the urns were cylindrical shaped, and the top went into a cone shape, and there was a hole on the side that they would put the bread into to make it. And we actually have our bread freshly baked. Mmm! This is our leavened bread, since it's more of a fluffy shape rather than a disc with the flattened disc shape. And it's made from barley. It smells very good, very aromatic. Lots of nice, delicious barley in there. I think I see some emmer wheat in there. The grains were also used in the beer making process as well, and they added the barley and malt to the beer, and they would also add some sort of sugar to the beer, and it would ferment, and it didn't last very long, but it was a drink that was consumed more for fun, like enjoyment purposes. So if you like beer, grab yourself a cold Mesopotamian beer.
Thank you, Claire. And here to talk about how we're going to use the vegetables in our soup is Ronnie Becker.
Hello, everybody. So today, for our vegetables in our soup, we have leeks, onions, and lettuce.
What's so cool about these vegetables?
Well, Megan, I'm glad you asked. These plants are olaceous plants, which means that they are non-perishable. So the Mesopotamians consumed these in great quantities.
So they like to be healthy?
Yes. And we know that they ate onions and lettuce in a lot because they mentioned it in their texts quite often.
Thank you for that great information, Ronnie.
You're welcome, Megan.
I'm glad to know why we have these awesome vegetables going into our yummy stew.
Yes.
Next to today, we have Kenzie here to talk about some of the ingredients for our appetizers that will be going in our soup.
Hello. Today I'm going to show you all of the awesome fruits. Back then the most popular were pomegranates, apples, and figs. This here is a pomegranate. And fun fact, dried apples were actually found in the royal tombs.
Those are some old apples.
We should go searching. They also use dates.
Are you asking me out?
No,
That's so
silly,
sweet.
it's a fruit. Well, these dates were actually used as a sweetener back then. So, if you want something to sweeten your beer, use a date. Also, these dates were known as, on the text, honey. So, if you're reading the text from back there, don't get confused because they mean dates. These dates were grown on southern plains because that was most easily to grow trees. And they needed to be watched very carefully. Like a bookkeeper watches their books.
And that's all we have on dates.
Thank you, Kenzie, for all your information on these wonderful fruits.
Oh, you are very welcome, Megan. Thanks for having me on the show today.
We loved it. Well, now we're going to have a short commercial break, and we'll be back with our stew right after.
Don't forget not to burn